Good morning. So I wanted to go ahead and talk about this hosta. In my first garden tour, I told y'all that there was something wrong with it. It's got a disease and I needed to pull it out of the ground. So before I started the second part of my garden tour, I figured I'd come and tell you about this hosta. This hosta, before I say it, what happened is that I planted this summon substance as a bare root last year, and after the snow it didn't come back up. So I was like, okay, well, let me go get a new one. So I went to the nursery and I found this one and I was like, wow, and it was labeled a summon substance, and I'm like, that is crazy. It's kind of variegated, let me get that. So I got that, brought it home and planted it. Well, then this one, a couple days later, decided to come up anyway. So as I kept looking at it, I was like, no, I just don't know. It doesn't look right. It seems like something's wrong with it. So I started doing a lot of research on it and found out that yes, there is something wrong with it. It has Hosta Virus X. So Hosta Virus X is a disease that can get into any of the hostas, but usually it gets into summon substance, golden tiara, there's another golden one that it gets into, and much more. It can get into a lot of them, but summon substance is one of the main ones it gets into. And it will not kill your plant, but it can spread to other plants and make them it can spread to other hostas and make your hostas all look bad. So it needs to be pulled up. The thing about it is that if you dig it up, you need to disinfect your tools before you use your tools for anything else. It's in the sap that you get it the most. And let me show you. And now, just with this one being next to it, you see that puckering starting here? So it's in this one too now. But luckily, I knew that the summon substance would get big, so I did not plant any other hostas. You see I have elephant ears here. But I did not plant any other hostas close because I knew this one would get big. So I'm not worried about it getting on my other hostas right now. And plus, since I put it in the ground, I have not done anything. It usually happens when you divide them or you cut on them or things like that, that it can get on your tools and spread to other hostas. The main thing to know is that once you pull this up, you need to either burn it or put it in the trash. Do not put it in your compost pile. So put it in the trash or burn it. And then you cannot plant another hosta in this spot for 3 years. You can plant any other plants. I'm going to put a Sun King Aurelia here, but you cannot put hostas here for 3 years in this spot. So I'm going to pull up both of them. So how you know you have it, first of all, one of the symptoms is ink bleed. And you can see, if I can get close where it stays, see how it's kind of bleeding into all the other ones? The coloring is bleeding in. You can see it's kind of striped, kind of mottled looking. Another sign is puckering, and it's hard to see on camera, but it has some puckering. You can see it's kind of twisting also, and that's how I knew this one had it, because it's got puckering on that leaf right there. So that one's coming up too. So puckering, mottling, ink bleed. It can over time start breaking down the tissue of your plant. So it won't kill your plant, but it'll make your plant look bad. And if it spreads to all your other hostas, you don't want your hostas looking bad. So you just need to take them out of the ground. So I have a plastic bag. I'm going to pull this out. Don't forget that any tools that you use on these infected hostas, you have to disinfect them before you use those tools on another hosta. So I'm going to use my hands. I'm not going to use gloves because it's hard to disinfect your gloves without having to rewash them. So I'm just going to use my hands because I can disinfect my hands. These are small, so I can just pull them out. So there is a test that you can use to test if your hosta has Hosta Virus X. You can search it on Google, just put test for Hosta Virus X. I think it's the place that does it is called Agdia, A-G-D-I-A, but check it, make sure. But the test is like $136 when I looked it up. So I was like, this is a $10 Hosta, I'm going to pull it. So if you think you have it, you're suspicious that it might have it, you notice that there's some things. Now you have to watch, there are some variations that kind of look like bleeding that might not be. And so I would really kind of watch it. You can quarantine it over to the side for a year just to kind of see. But the bad part is that it can actually be asymptomatic and you could still have it. So sometimes it says it takes up to 3 years to start showing up even though it's had it the whole time. So just watch your hostas, start looking for any signs that it's not what it's supposed to look like. I thought this was just a cool looking summon substance, and it would be if this is what it looked like. It's very cool, but it's not. So anyway, if y'all have any questions, just let me know in the comments, and then coming soon we'll do part two of my garden tour. Thanks guys.